How flexible are you when it comes to your nutritional habits? I'm always astonished how much people limit themselves in their own minds, in their own customs and habits, and how in the end they stay with what they know and are very reluctant to experiment with other ways of doing things, which might be more aligned to their body's needs. And since I work with different people from different cultures and different countries, things that seem so completely normal for some people are just out of question for others, and vice versa. And so the question maybe really becomes, how free are we from our conditionings to break free from routine and what we know and just go and try new things? When I still used to work with the metabolic type questionnaire from Health Excel, there was one question about red meat and how you feel on it after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, and people consistently would be like, what? Red meat for breakfast? It would not even occur to them. And for me, that was also my first reaction back then. But when I tried it, at least at that point in time, my body really felt good on it. And sometimes we can be surprised when we open ourselves to some new experience, when we get out of our mental concepts, ideas, prejudices in the end, and just allow the body to have an experience and to give its feedback to us. And we might find that actually what we thought was like unthinkable and completely out of our comfort zone in the end, that this is exactly what we need. Because when there's really health issues, oftentimes you cannot continue doing what you've always done, because then you will just get the same result. Sometimes you really need to mix it all up and completely change routines and try something completely new. So instead of your sweet breakfast, have a hearty breakfast, like red meat or just a hearty stew in the morning. Maybe not in hot summer, but in winter definitely. And even in summer, if you have these things at a room temperature, or, you might find that, wow, that actually feels good, even if your mind thought that this would be completely horrible. And so we allow for the body to give us its wisdom. And ideally, of course, then we also listen to it and to its response and allow ourselves to adjust beliefs and mental concepts. And that's when the real change happens, because in the end, when we get stuck, this will show up as pain in one way or the other. And so the food is just a doorway. It's just showing us how rigid we might be and how closed-minded. And maybe we find that these things don't work for us, but at least we are open to experimenting. And like that, we might just get to know ourselves better, and also savor the world more. Many people eat in such limited ways, like always the same things all over, and there's just such a huge variety to what's possible when we don't close off certain options from the beginning, like you cannot eat hearty food in the morning, for example. For some, that might be completely, what? That's my normal thing, because for their culture it's normal. And then maybe they might think, why would she eat sweet stuff in the morning? So just let's get a bit more flexible. Maybe you have genes from a completely different culture and some other food habit would actually work much better for you. And so you can also then, free yourself to actually allow yourself to notice, let's say, what your body's really asking for in different times of the year. If we don't have certain options on the horizon, we will not be able to feel them. It's as though you can only see what you know, in a way. So only if something is actually possible in your mind, then you can actually allow yourself to feel that this is what your body would want. Otherwise, you kind of completely ban out this option. And so you stay within that very limited circle, which is obviously your comfort zone. And growth always happens outside of it. So consider maybe mixing up your food a bit and trying things that at first thought seem a bit weird to you, and maybe there's a bit of resistance, and just go and experiment. And if it's a true no, then of course listen to it, but at least try it. Try what happens when you drop certain things like coffee that you're really used to, addicted to maybe even, and do something completely out of the box. And then just feel. If it's a no, then you just never repeat it. But if it's a yes or a surprise, then you might have just opened up a bit your horizon and added a bit more color and creativity and abundance to your life, which of course will then also be reflected in other areas. Hope that helps. Lots of love.